Hello again, and welcome back to The Scoop on K-State, a show featuring leaders and alumni of Kansas State University and our efforts to become a next-gen land-grant university. I'm pleased to introduce our guest today, Greg Willems, who serves as President and CEO at the KSU Foundation. In this role, Greg leads a team dedicated to boldly advancing K-State as strategic partnerships for philanthropy. And in fact, in fiscal year 24, the team raised more than $193 million in private gifts with over 45,000 donors. So thank you, Greg, for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you, Adam, for having us.
So I thought we'd start off with viewers getting to know a little bit more about you. You assumed your leadership role at the KSU Foundation in 2015. And I found this hard to believe, only the sixth individual to lead the fundraising efforts since 1944. That's pretty
it's
incredible.
A little surprising.
Yeah, isn't it? That's a long
is.
time. So prior to joining K-State, you served as Vice President for Development at the University of Hawaii Foundation, Executive Director of Development at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, and as Senior Director of Development for Texas A&M Foundation, your alma mater. So that's quite a legacy you've built. Is there any memory or something that stands out from that time?
Sure. Well, again, it's thinking and reflecting back on my 10 years here, and then certainly another dozen years at those other institutions. It's been quite a journey. I think the thing that I reflect on the most is how uniquely different all those institutions were and what I was able to learn and how I was able to develop as a leader at each of those stops along the way. The most memorable thing is, I think if you think of those places, whether it was the University of Hawaii, the Aloha Spirit, at University of British Columbia, the Canadian nice is a thing. Certainly at Texas A&M, the tradition, the values, that sense of community is a big part of the fabric there. Mm-hmm. But I think, my most distinct memory is our decision to come here to Kansas State, and living here the last 10 years. Those other places were known for being friendly and hospitable, but I'd have to say that the Manhattan community did a better job of any of those places of making you feel welcome instantly here when we arrived here. That Kansas nice is a real thing. Genuine, sincere, and authentic. I recall distinctly when I was offered this position, I hadn't even come to Kansas yet. And I bet I had 24 emails or phone calls before I ever got to Manhattan to welcome Christina and I, to really say that we're looking forward to having you here and to helping you be part of the community. And I think the leadership journey has been distinct along the way, but my most fond memory would be, how distinctly special Kansas State has been to Christina and I coming here.
Yeah, that's so great to hear.
Yeah.
You definitely get that welcoming feeling,
Absolutely.
from that K-State family, for
Absolutely.
sure. And it's so interesting, too. You think about those institutions, they're all distinctly different. Mm-hmm. So you probably had some good experiences before coming here, so that's excellent.
Again, all very uniquely different. Higher education is the common theme, but very different communities, very different societies, culture, tradition, heritage that you want to respect and leverage in the right way. But I think what I'm most thankful for is those stops along the way that helped me develop and figure out how to be an adaptable leader, so that when I arrived here in Kansas State, I was prepared to lead and learn what was special here, what this community believed we could be and should be, and how do you do that with, purple pride and a vision for the future.
Yeah. Well, we're so fortunate that you are here, and your team and you have just done an incredible job. We're going to get into that here shortly, but maybe a little bit more about yourself. So how do you ease the stress, from a long day? What do you enjoy doing when you're not working?
Sure. Well, Adam, as you well can attest to, these aren't 8 to 5 jobs. And I don't actually think of it as a job. This is a lifestyle, something that I love to do as an advancement professional, leading the foundation for an enterprise that we care about deeply and want to serve. So, when we do get time to unwind, I'm pretty active in fitness. So we eat a lot, we travel a lot with what we do here. So if you don't watch it, you can eat your way out of your waistline here. So active daily fitness regimen that's really, really important to me to de-stress and to stay fit and ready to do the job well. Beyond that, I like the outdoors a lot. So hiking in the Kanza here, or day hikes, a big part of my routine. And I like backcountry camping and backpacking. So multiple day trips that I do with my brother and friends is something I enjoy. More routine probably would be riding my motorcycle. So when President Myers was here and Alan Fankheiser, who works for the Alumni Association, we were all motorcycle riders and really enjoy riding around the Flint Hills region on our motorcycles, or as President Myers called it, our little gang. So a lot of fun doing that, working on my old Mustang convertible. Yeah. So those are some of the habits and hobbies that I enjoy.
Yeah, I don't think many people realize, you had a Harley and you ride around with President Myers.
In fact, Harley Day this year was my first time to ride in Harley Day.
And you kept it upright.
What an experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah. So, I think this is interesting to note. So we're obviously one K-State, but oftentimes, people will confuse Alumni Association, KSU Foundation. We're indeed separate entities. The foundation's official fundraising arm entity at the K-State, and the success of the foundation is a vital component to President Linton's plan to make, K-State the next generation land-grant university, next gen. So can you please elaborate, maybe foundation's role in that plan, opportunities and successes you've had, and just the role of philanthropy? Mm-hmm.
Well, the start of your comments, I really like that the K-State community, the K-State family sees us as one enterprise. And so I think that's been one of the very special distinctions that allows us to be successful in what we do, but also give the K-State family a great experience, whether it's engagement through the Alumni Association, athletics, the academic community, the foundation. Them feeling like they're talking to K-State, I think is a credible part of how we want to give them an experience. And so that seamless experience and having them know that we communicate and we interact and we all care about each other's success, I think is really special here. Our role in helping advance the strategic plan, it's certainly our 365-day-a-year mission of raising scholarships, funds for our faculty, programs, and facilities are always ongoing. And as we've gotten into the plan, seeing some of these new initiatives, some of the imperatives of the plan, like the Applied Learning Initiative or the Ag Innovation Facilities Initiative, those are new and unique projects we've really been able to lean into and really inspire and guide the K-State community in a way beyond just some of the generic things we've done. So I think we're really proud of the Ag Innovation Initiative, over $190 million raised of that $210 million total.
It's incredible.
Those buildings are being built, and so very soon the K-State family is going to enjoy the benefit of that. And then the Applied Learning Initiative, that imperative, how do we make sure that every graduate from 2030 on has an applied learning experience at K-State? We've been highly successful at raising money to create those experiences and make sure every student comes through with a journey that's memorable, distinct, and helps them really market themselves as a leader when they go out and seek a job. So we're excited about those two things.
Yeah. And you think about, there's so many other student success pieces that, scholarships obviously is huge, but the faculty support, the Cat's Cupboard, which is very unique. Maybe you can touch on that. Flip the classrooms. Some of those initiatives. Maybe talk about a few of those that you've been involved in.
Yeah, when I think about when President Linton first got here about 2.5 years ago, we really were leaning into the student experience, student success theme. Over $200 million raised in scholarships the last few years to really help with our enrollment. Cat's Cupboard. The mental health services need, financial futures, all of these things that help our students while they're here on their journey not have food insecurity or not deal with financial issues. So I think it's been really rewarding for the K-State family and our foundation to lean into those things and know, look, it's not exclusively in the classroom, but it's part of their journey here. And we want to eliminate the stresses, the anxieties, and the barriers that they're dealing with to be successful in the classroom. So Cat's Cupboard in particular down the street, every time I walk in that place, it just makes you smile.
Yeah.
I think that facility does more to express the values of what the K-State family is about and how we're going to embrace young people when they come here than just about anything else we do.
Yeah, it's incredible. For students with food insecurity, it was in the basement of Fairchild, 700 square feet. Now it's over 7,000.
That's right.
And it's visible, it's used. We were there a few weeks ago for a tour. And it's just, you're right, it's just amazing to see that kind of outpouring of support. So.
Well, with the right leadership, the right vision, and a K-State community getting behind it, they've made a quantum leap in what we're doing to serve the K-State family here, and that feels really good.
Yeah. So talking about, scholarships, and you mentioned some facilities. What's going on in the Edge District? Why don't you talk about the master plan there, and maybe the future of what's going to be north of Bill Snyder Family Stadium?
Sure. Well, when I think of the foundation's mission, when I arrived here nearly a decade ago, it really at our core, it's about fundraising and then investment management of the endowment. Real estate was just starting to spin up and cycle up and become more of a meaningful value creation function that the foundation provides. So the Edge District, by design, is how do we create an economic development district that leverages the faculty, the student talent. How do we be a net importation of dollars, bringing companies here and helping to create jobs? So we think of the Edge as probably the most iconic and tangible way the university can demonstrate its worth and its value in terms of creating jobs and innovation in companies, and that next frontier or evolution a company needs to be successful. So really excited about what we've been able to build over the last many years. Dozens of companies of big national brands coming here to again, leverage what K-State has, incredible student talent, innovation and discovery with our faculty's research, and finding that edge that's going to help their company be successful. And we've got a vision over the next 15 years of creating hopefully another 3,000 jobs and attracting another $3 billion in investment to come into Kansas.
That's incredible. When we love our acronyms. So I first heard of the Edge District, and it's all capped. I thought it was an acronym, but it's literally it's the Edge District.
Sure.
That's the name of the district.
I think the theme we had in mind is when you want to get to next, you have to go to the edge. And that was the cheeky line that we came up with. I don't know if we use it anymore, but the edge makes sense. You want a competitive edge. You want to go to the edge of what's the next frontier, the next thing for your business. And so I think it really connects.
And plays well, with the next gen as well. So
you bet.
So you've been here almost a decade, and I worked at the foundation previously. I think 17 or so years ago. I just want to personally say thank you for what you do, because I know what we were raising, nearly a couple decades ago is now is tripled. I mean, you think about we're raising $75 million a year, and now we're raising over 200 million in some years.
Sure.
So that's just incredible. Maybe tell us what you're most fond of or most proud of here since you've been here almost a decade.
Yeah, it's there's a lot to reflect on there, and I do have distinct memories of when I first arrived here. Very a very noble mission we had, and it was ready for what's next, and how are we going to take a quantum leap and really elevate what we could provide to Kansas State. And that's what I loved about the opportunity. When I met a few of the board members during the interview process, and when they really talked about what they weren't and wanted to be, I couldn't be anything but excited about that opportunity to bring that leadership and take that journey. So yeah, I think we're really proud 10 years later to now be averaging $218 million a year, to have a brand and a reputation and a reach that is connecting with people in the right way, earning the right to, for K-State to be their number one philanthropic priority, earning the right for them to be enduring shareholders, not just episodic givers. All of that feels really, really good. It was undeniable that Kansas State was a special university and had a lot of needs. So to be doing more to help fulfill that for our faculty, our administration, and our community is really rewarding. When I think about what's been the secret sauce, or what really is, the memorable distinction of how we've arrived at today, I have to say it's our culture. Our people are really, really prideful professionals. They understand with clarity what this mission is, how they make a difference. They strive to do audacious, big goals, and they really are prideful about wanting to stretch to do, each year incrementally more. So I think we've got momentum and the right philosophy and culture and staff in place that's going to serve K-State well into the future.
Yeah, and I'll say this too, because I've been at other institutions like you. It's not always this way.
Right.
The culture here is really incredible. The partnership that we have, and obviously partnership with athletics, President Linton campus.
You bet.
It really is refreshing when everybody's like, what's the common good for K-State?
Right.
And that doesn't happen everywhere. And so that's really incredible.
Well, that theme has helped us figure out how do we elevate everybody's outcomes and success. And I feel just as good about figuring out how we can help the Alumni Association or athletics with the priorities and things that they're trying to do. The bottom line, I think we've all learned that everybody can be successful and elevate what we're doing, and that's good for the K-State community.
Yeah, and our donors and campus, they appreciate that.
You bet.
You know, when they can say, hey, here's what the needs are, the opportunities, and
right.
and what are you interested in as a donor. They appreciate that. So,
Yeah.
well, what else would you like to share? Anything else?
Well, you know, I'm personally excited to have you here. You know, when I think of my time here over the last decade, I had the blessing of getting to know what I consider some of K-State's most iconic leaders. And when I think of, you know, Ernie Barrett, you know, our former AD who sadly has passed, and when I think of Pat Bosco and Amy Button-Renz and Bill Snyder, those four are on my Mount Rushmore of K-Staters. But I can't be, you know, I'm really excited about what you're going to bring in new energy and a new vision. You and I have had a lot of time to work together about where you're trying to take the Alumni Association, and I think it's going to be great for the K-State community and generations to come as your vision unfolds and we build new partnerships that are going to serve K-State. So that would be the other parting thing I'd say thank you for making the decision to come back.
I appreciate that very much.
You bet.
Got big shoes to fill, so that's for sure. We both do big jobs
for sure.
And I appreciate your partnership, and we got some glimpses into the future I think we're working on. So
you bet.
That we'll look forward to sharing with our viewers about the Alumni Center and the association and some things that are going to come up probably not too distant future.
Yeah, we got a few things up our sleeve.
Yeah, so we'll excited to share that. So thanks so much for giving us the scoop on K-State. And now it's the favorite part of the podcast for me is we get to enjoy some Call Hall ice cream. So tell us what you chose and why. This is interesting.
My favorite flavor, a little probably unexpected to our viewers out here, but vanilla is my favorite flavor of Call Hall ice cream. And it has been my favorite flavor of just any ice cream before I knew the greatness of Call Hall. I think I always liked that it was kind of a plain palate, and whether you were excited about adding blueberries or strawberries or Hershey syrup or caramel, it always, whatever you were in the mood for that day, vanilla was the perfect backdrop for it. So I've always, been partial to vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, well, you're right. You can go with anything. You can add to it. So
you bet.
It's great. We're looking forward to it. So thanks so much, for joining us and this pivotal position and role at the university and what you do and serve. So appreciate it so much.
You bet, Adam.
Yep.
Thanks for having me.
Well, that wraps up another episode of The Scoop on K-State. I'm Adam Walker, President and CEO of the K-State Alumni Association. I want to thank you for being part of our show. Until next time, be sure to share this podcast with your friends and family. Select that follow button on your podcast app so you'll never miss another episode of the show. On behalf of the K-State Alumni Association staff, we are proud to be your connection to campus. We value and appreciate your ongoing support and membership. And if you're not currently a member, please consider joining. And of course, Greg, go Cats.
Go Cats.